We are 41 days from Election Day. Some people are already casting their votes through absentee voting. In fact, the State Board of Elections confirmed that over 100 ballots had already been returned. Well, tonight we are joined by the director of the Guilford County Board of Elections, Charlie Collicutt. We're discussing election deadlines, important information you need to know before you cast your vote, whether you're casting it in person or you're casting it through absentee ballot. What we're doing also as well is taking your questions. So instead of wondering what the answer to the question is or asking somebody else like a neighbor down the street, how about you ask the guy who knows? 336-379-5775. All right, so absentee ballot voting officially underway. Let's talk about some important dates because we have kind of a shorter window for those absentee ballots.
Yeah, we do. So these dates are very important. So a lot of voters have already gotten their ballot or requested a ballot. If you still want to request one, that deadline is October 29th. So hit that. I'd advise don't wait that long. Go ahead and do it now. Then the next big deadline is the return deadline. And that is Tuesday, November 5th, Election Day, 7:30 p.m. Has to be in the Board of Elections office, not postmarked or anything like that, but it has to be here by that deadline.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that everybody hears that because that is kind of a new thing. For years and years and years, it was always just postmarked by that day. That is not the case any longer. It has to be actually in the office by that day. So people, they don't actually have to mail them. They can bring them. Where can they bring them?
Yeah, so there's, first of all, the Board of Elections office. Here in Guilford County, we have two. We've got the one in Greensboro and the one in High Point. Physically bring it in. And then also they can be dropped off at an early voting site during the early voting period, not on Election Day, though.
Okay.
So that early voting site is fine, but not your Election Day polling place.
Okay, that is good to know. All right, and since we're on that subject, let's talk about early voting. When does it begin? And if you need to register, what do you do if you're there?
Right, early voting begins October 17th. It's a Thursday. We have 28 sites around Guilford County. If you are not registered to vote by then, if you've missed the registration deadline, which is October 11th, then that's okay. You can still vote early. You come to vote early and you'll have to show some type of document with utility bill or something with your current address. You do that and you can register and vote at the same time, but only during early voting.
Okay, so and the early voting isn't always at like your precinct or where you normally voted. So you probably have to look up and find out where your early voting sites are, no matter what county you live in.
Right, it's county specific. In Guilford, we've got 28 throughout the county. Any Guilford County voter can go to the Guilford County sites, any of those 28 sites. But on Election Day, you've got to go to your assigned polling place.
Okay, and so that is the main difference. If you're going to go to early voting, you're going to have to figure out where your early voting sites are wherever you are. If it's Election Day voting, you got to go where your card says you are going to vote. And what happens if you don't know where your card is and you're like, I don't know where I'm supposed to vote?
Yeah, give us a call at the Board of Elections office or check this, that we've talked about it before, this voter information lookup tool on the State Board of Elections website. You can look that up and it's going to give you your polling place, your sample ballot, all sorts of great information so you know where to go on Election Day.
Okay, and the link for that voter search that you just saw up there, you can find it on the Guilford County Board of Elections site, probably whatever county Board of Elections site you are from, or the State Board of Elections site. So it's easy to find. It is free. You figure out where you're supposed to go. All right, now you said we can, on early voting, we can register and vote that day if it's early voting. But if we decide we want to vote on Election Day, we want to be in person and vote on Election Day, what is the deadline then to vote?
Yeah, so if you want to vote on Election Day or vote an absentee by mail ballot, that deadline to register to vote is October 11th. We need that registration form. And if you miss that deadline, then that early voting same day can kick in. But it's better, it's safer, it's a lot less paperwork to go ahead and get that registration form in by October 11th.
Okay, gotcha. And so the state updated all kinds of rules saying now you must vote with a photo ID. So let's talk about the photo IDs.
Right. Every voter, whether they're in person at an early voting site, Election Day, or by mail, they'll have to do a photocopy. But voters are going to have to show an ID. Our website, the state website, it's got a lot of different options of what can be used. Most people are going to have a driver's license, but also a passport, veteran's ID. Some colleges and universities, some government IDs will work. Tribal IDs will work. There's a host of things that can work. And for voters that don't have one of those types of IDs or have some impediment to presenting that, there is an exception form voters can fill out in that process.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions. One person's asking, what is the Greensboro address to bring your absentee ballot? That's actually the Guilford Board of Elections there in downtown.
Right, that's 301 West Market Street, downtown, the old courthouse.
And then
And in High Point, it's Russell Street, 325 Russell.
Gotcha. Okay. And then this other person says, we've been registered in Guilford County since 2021. Same address the whole time. Do we have to register again at any point?
No, you don't have to re-register. As long as you've maintained that continuous voter registration in Guilford County, you do not have to re-register.
Okay. Gotcha. And then let's see. Where can I view the November ballot? Because there is a sample ballot that you can look at right now.
Right. If you go to that same voter lookup tool that we talked about, you can go there and you can download your individual sample ballot that is very specific just to you. We do have a composite sample ballot on our website. That's everything, though, so that can be confusing because it's candidates you'll see that you may not be eligible for.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take more of your questions when we come back. We're also going to be talking about that absentee ballot because, believe it or not, you can do it wrong. And we don't mean the voting part. We mean putting everything in all the different envelopes part. So we'll see you back in just a few minutes.